We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
I love working with the team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 After an intense day of group stage competition yesterday, we are here for the Open Division semi-finals. Off stream, it is Clapham facing up against Wall City in a rematch from the Elite Invite in Bologna at the start of the season. But here on stream, we have CUSB Fotta versus Chevron. My name's Luke Burgess, and I'm joined in the booth by Benjamin Rees. How's it going, Benji?
I'm good. I'm really good. We had a brilliant day yesterday, and another scintillating day in prospect here.
Absolutely. Both these teams have been putting up some impressive performances this season. Chevron winning their group yesterday, 3 games out of 3. Fotta coming second in their group after their loss to Clapham, as Chevron put in a comfortable hole to start off proceedings. Just working it easily down that far sideline, no problem.
Yeah, showing the form that allowed them to top the group yesterday, as you mentioned, with victories over Wall City, Gentle and Alba.
Yes.
That's the one. We'll see it again here on the replay. Just gliding down the field almost, Chevy. Not a problem for them. Colthammer finds Aspin on that far side, and Aspin with that lower release break into the end zone where he finds Sweetenham for the score.
Confident offense from Chevron to start off the game. So they had 3 wins yesterday, but the games were tough. They had to work. They had to come back against Gentle. We saw that on stream.
We did indeed.
They had a tough game against Alba, which they were very pleased about, having had a less tough game against them at Wind Farm earlier in the year. And getting to play Wall City, another top European side. They had a bit of a scare late in the game. They were 3 points up, and then Wall City came back to make it 12-all, but Chevron dug in, got 3 points on the bounce and took the game. And that kind of mentality, to be able to stay calm, stay focused, and just put the points in when it matters, is something they've really been working on this season, and something we haven't seen so much from them in previous years. As Fotta show us what they can do on offense. Shot to the end zone. It's floating, but brought down. High snag from Rossi. And the Fotta looking good on offense as well.
It's a nice little mash of styles there, isn't it? You've got the American import Helton, the Italian Rossi, you know, kind of Goose. I think an established veteran by this point.
Absolutely.
And Rossi, superstar in the making potentially. But he judges this one really well. Again, it's just a simple flick of the wrist. Gets it out nice and early beyond the defender, and Rossi rips it out of the sky and then flips it with a spike. One all, both sides looking pretty fluid on offense, you have to say.
Yeah, this is what we want to see from the highest levels of European Ultimate. We want teams to be slotting in their own points nice and comfortably until some big, exciting defensive plays happen. The wind right now isn't too bad. There's a few little gusts every now and then, but at most a light breeze, I'd say.
Yeah, you'd expect teams of this quality to be able to deal with that.
Chevy now, trying to do it again on offense. Having to work hard in the reset space though. Kime, looking in field. Has to pop one far over the top. Dathan swings to the far side, but it can't be reeled in. And first turnover of the game gives Fotta the disc.
Yeah, just put that too far out in front of Aspen. Aspen was playing on the D-line yesterday and switched over to offense today, so maybe just a little bit of a miscommunication.
Fotta now, down the far side. He's working around the back. Chevy a little bit loose, allowing the handlers to move. Shot to the end zone, and it's brought down nice and easy by Tobias Mine.
What a rip from Gibson. He saw that space on the weak side of the end zone, kind of weighed out, is it worth kind of really firing it in there? And oh yeah, it was worth it.
Great vision.
Yeah, and he nails this flick. Just steps back a little bit, pumps it deep, takes Aspen completely out of it, and first break of the game goes Fotta's way. Got an early break actually, broke on the very first point against Clapham in the showcase game, that final pool game yesterday evening, but Clapham won comfortably in the end, 14-9. Chevron will be hoping for something similar as well, where shrugging off that early break to come back and seize the victory.
And if yesterday's performances from them have anything to tell us, it's that the mentality of this Chevron side is up to the task. Not going to let themselves feel defeated early in the game just because they got broken on.
Luca Tognetti with the devastating spin pull.
It's fielded comfortably by Chevron though. As Kime looks deep, but Colthammer just started coming under. And that's a gift for Fotta.
You can't be doing that, especially when you're in You know, you've been broken on the last point. Kime and Colthammer not on the same page, and if they were on the same page, it's a really flat, zippy huck, and it would have been a bit of an ask for Colthammer.
Yeah, Colthammer had to be fully committed to that before the throw went up.
And evidently he was not.
No. Dognetti. For the Fotta. Once again, work it around the back. Chevron looking a bit tighter at this point. Deep shot goes though, and it's going to sit. Body's underneath it, and what a block in the end zone. The Fotta were close. Chevron were closer.
Yeah, the two 26s going up against each other on that deep throw from the German Hörnschmeier, but Sweetnam got the better of his opposite number there. Kalarotta got up nice and high and almost like batted that back over his own head. Looked a little bit unorthodox, but it more than did the trick.
Hey, they got possession back, and this time Kime does find Colthammer, but there's some contact downfield and play will stop.
It's on that cut to the far sideline from Aspin. I'm not sure that Gatti is necessarily happy with the level of contact. Maybe felt that he was pushing through him, potentially.
Well, Gatti ended up on the floor, so. Yeah, uncontested offensive foul downfield. And play will resume. Colthammer looking for Kime in the reset space and does not find the option.
Tognetti just flashes in there, gets a hand in the way to knock it to the floor.
It's another break for the Fotta.
Well. La Fotta, despite losing 2 games yesterday, because they also went down 12-11 to Ranelagh, have come out firing in this contest. Chevy look a little bit punch drunk.
Yeah, I think Chevy a little bit shocked by the intensity that the Fotta have brought at the start of this game. They looked good in the first point, but since then, Chevy have just let a few little mistakes creep in, and the Fotta have been all over them.
Hörnschmeier finds Venturoli for the goal, making up for the huck that he threw early in that possession that was well defended by Sweetnam. 3-1 to the Italians. Chevron keeping that same O-line out there despite having been broken on the past 2 points. At what point do you think about switching things up a bit?
Personally, I like calling a timeout after being broken twice early in the game. At that point, you can put the O-line out again because they've been rested. They've had that chance to reset their focus. Going 3 points in a row is difficult. But to be fair, the points have been fairly short. They haven't been out there grinding long defensive possessions.
Yeah, it's not a full roster available to Chevron today. I can see Rolo Sachs-Dixon on the far sideline. Doesn't look like he's ready to go. Robbie Haynes has got his cleats on, but again, doesn't seem like he's going to be involved. Tom Hodgett on the far sideline, definitely out.
Pulled his hamstring yesterday.
Ooh,
yeah,
nightmare.
So resting him for Worlds.
That is painful, and I saw Issa Duwala, who had some beautiful hucks in that fierce wind yesterday, also doesn't look like he's going to be playing in this game. So some very notable losses there for Chevy.
Yeah, they're being very conservative with their injured players with Worlds coming up next month.
Honestly, I absolutely get it.
Yeah.
Why take the risk necessarily? Obviously, you want to put your best product on the field out here today, but you've got to look at the big picture, and Worlds is infinitely more important than the London Invite. Yeah. No offense to the London Invite. No,
it is self-described warm-up tournament for Worlds, so getting injured in the warm-up is not the strat. As Kime goes over the top for Colthammer against this La Fotta zone. Dathan finds an option through the middle, past the bidding defender. Chevy are away now. Aspin looking into the end zone, finds Colthammer. And Chevron get it done on offense and bring us to 3-2.
Second assist of the game for Aspin. Both of the goals have come from his hand so far for Chevy. Nice little bit, looks a bit more comfortable against the zone. Something different there from from the Fotta defence. Kime hammered over the top to get a little bit of space. Bid that flew in on the far sideline. If you're a defender in a zone, if you you come in to put a bid on something, you have to get it.
Yeah.
You really need to make sure that you're at least, if not getting it, putting as much pressure on it as possible. Because if you don't, it means that you're completely out of position, and then there's going to be a huge soft spot somewhere for the opposition to exploit.
You've just, if there wasn't a numbers advantage already, there definitely is now. But to some extent, I respect the effort, because at that point, Chevron had gotten past that first line of defense. They'd just broken through the initial part of the zone, and at that point there probably is a numbers advantage. They probably are going to overload somebody downfield, so there's a good chance you're getting scored on anyway. Why not go for the bid?
And it was a really good bid as well.
It was close.
Not because it looked great and because it was close, but also clean.
Very, very clean. Oh yeah.
Which is what we like to see.
Wind is picking up a bit now as the Fotta come back out on offense. Match defense from Chevron. Gasparini. Working in field. And that throw to Laffy goes a bit too far. Chevron with a break opportunity now.
Yeah, I don't know if Laffy was ever going to get to it, but I think he would have had a better scoop if he went with the offhand rather than trying to catch that with the trailing rather than trying to go right hand with the trailing edge.
So pick downfield.
I can totally see why that happened, given how close those Chevy players are to one another.
Yeah. So Bobarek with the disc, Chevron. Still counts rising. Looking for something. Just about squeaks it through to Morri. Goes infield. Not much happening downfield, but Chevron do find some options, and a backwards layout from Martin Hall. I don't think that's Martin Hall. I think we've got our roster wrong here. But it's a catch nonetheless.
Well, they just about made that stick. I think it's Elliot Parnell, actually, with that really awkward kind of rotating behind himself grab. I'm not quite sure how he managed to spear that, but either way, Chevron earned one of those breaks back to plus level here, 3 apiece. Very saucy looking game in prospect here. Have a look at it again on the replay. Williams, Morrell past the bidding Laffy into the end zone, and wow, look at that body control there. Morrell pumps his fists, and I would as well, because his bacon has been well and truly saved there by Parnell.
Yeah, going for those quick catch and throw passes into the end zone, especially in the wind, are harder than they look. And if you don't put substantial amounts of practice into them, they're very easy to throw too high, too low, or too far to one side, as we saw there.
What brilliant body control, and he looking a little bit ginger as he was helped up off his feet, and I get it. I really get it. As someone who has never done anything anywhere near as athletic in my life.
So it's 3 apiece here in the open semi-final. The Fotta up a break.
Going to begin this possession from the brick mark.
Side stack from the Fotta. See who they can isolate in space. Oh, huge grab from Helton. Looking for something downfield, has to go for a swing. The Fotta closing in on the end zone now. There's the shot upwards and a big bump. No foul called though. And the Fotta just slotted in. Not sure what happened with the Chevy defense there.
No, Zani finds Andrea Mastroianni with the goal. And yeah, I mean, with that side stack, I think Chevron knew exactly what was going to happen. They were going to go and attack this huge open space. The throw went up, and fair play to Helton because he really spread his wings and flew there. This little inside shot goes to Zani. Vasilik can't stop himself in time, and then trying to get back into position as well. Tries to work back through Zani. Now, I feel like there's probably a way of doing that where you can make a bit less contact, but so it goes. Fotta just ride it through, and then in the end just finds that space nicely. Makes it 4-3 to Fotta.
Yep, clean hold for Fotta.
Haynes on the sideline is trying to actually mark out where they think the brick mark is. And actually Vasilik's come over to Zani just to kind of apologise for the contact, which is good actually.
It's good, you love to see it. And I think what happened there was an honest mistake. It was just a sort of missed footing.
Loss of, just unable to arrest the momentum maybe.
Yeah, just a slight lack of control at exactly the wrong time.
Yeah, and
unfortunate.
And it's good as well to see players kind of engaged in those discussions on the sidelines as well.
You love to see it. So 2v1 downfield, and Fotta come up on top. Novak with the block. He will get it moving for Fotta. Huge bid comes in, but Fotta maintain possession. Pavan looking downfield, and somehow Fotta maintain possession. Immediately shoot deep. I was a bit confused as to what was going on there because everyone on field, apart from the receiver in the end zone, was stood completely still.
Yeah, Davide Morri clapped his hands vociferously in front of us as soon as he realised that his long-time clubmate Chopo Santucci was going to chase that down in the back of the end zone. And as soon as Chevron earned one of those breaks back, they surrender it straight away. Fotta reopen a 2-point advantage here at 5-3. It feels like, you know what, I'm not even going to say it, that first turnover there, just a huck is underthrown into double coverage. Poor decision making in all honesty. There's a bit that comes flying through and doesn't get there.
And this one.
Yeah, fully committed, and then I think that's Tognetti who just rips this forehand into the end zone, and Chopo chases it down for the goal.
Whilst everyone looks on, stunned.
The only question maybe was how much showboating did Santucci want to do with it?
Yeah.
And to his credit, actually you didn't really do that much until after he'd secured the catch. As much as there is nothing funnier as someone, you know, celebrating and then doing and then dropping it.
You love to see it.
You do, although maybe not if you're a fan of the player who's doing the dropping. As that ball lands just about in bounds, rolls out of the sideline. Dathan brings it in quickly.
So Chevron looking for a nice, quick, comfortable hold to give them some confidence back in this match. Colt Hammond out. Goes up line. Sweetman to Keim and just about toes it in on the front corner. Good footwork from Keim.
Really made him stretch for that one, but you could say that he judged this perfectly, knew how he had to put it to space to get Keim to really kind of stretch every sinew there to get out there, and didn't even need to lay out for it in the end. So
good work from Chevron.
That's a much cleaner possession. It's what you want after you get broken, is don't let the break train get rolling. Just put it in at the first time of asking, and don't give the defense an opportunity to really get themselves psyched up, as this Fotta side especially really likes to do. Sweetenham kind of pivots a little bit inward there, activates Keim, and then before squaring back up again to get that down the line, curling it past the defender on the force. Just getting news from the other semi-final, which is Clapham up against Berlin's Wall City. The hosts, Clapham, are 5-1 to the good. So it looks like the people picked the right semi-final to stream.
If by the people you mean the organisers.
I'm sure it was a totally legit vote.
You realise Clapham won the vote, right?
Not when you factor in the extra votes we gave the tournament organisers.
That's true.
That's how democracy works, right?
Yeah. I'm sure there were more than 4 tournament organisers.
To be fair, there probably are. Strangely, they're all for Clapham, so obviously they just didn't want the extra footage out there of themselves.
No, but we are thoroughly enjoying this matchup between the Fotta and Chevron. I voted for it, so.
So did I.
Yeah. Ooh, what a pickup! Goose Helton scoops it off the ground, and the Fotta hold on offense.
Well, we've seen Goose fly, and then there's whatever the Goose equivalent of a swan dive is, I guess. Got really low on that throw from DeLuca, and he had to, because it was not a great throw in all honesty. Should have been a comfortable completion. Rating agonizingly for the replay. See it again, it was a raking break across the field that really opened things up, and then playing it short around the end zone. As you mentioned, DeLuca gets it, and this is too low, but just about snatches it, does Goose. And I mean just about snatches it.
That's one of those where if we were playing on pitches with slightly longer grass, it would have been down.
Yes, actually it definitely would, I think. But the nice Eden AstroTurf here at the Grasshoppers Rugby Club. And actually, to be fair, even if it wasn't on the AstroTurf,
the grass is beautiful.
Immaculate. We're speaking to a couple of players earlier today saying it might be the best surface they've played on. It's always nice as well when you've got the lines mowed into the field.
Yeah, very professional venue.
What a pull!
Yeah. Dathan, Colt Hammer, looks off Kime. Looking for something in field, does just about find Dathan. Sweetenham. Chevy having to work extremely hard on this O point. CUSB are tight on every single cut. Round break. Finds Sweetenham. Sorry, Cameron. Goes back to Dathan. Looking in field. Finds Cameron again.
Everything's so compacted and close in there. They need to be stretching the field more.
The most obvious pick you've ever seen, as 2 Chevron players ran basically shoulder to shoulder in the reset space. Let's just check back in, and the deep shot goes up, looking for Sweetenham in the end zone. It's going to be 2v1, and Aspin comes from the back and makes everyone else look just a little bit silly.
It's how they drew it up. You get one receiver in to sucker in the defenders, and then Aspin sneaks through the back door to pick up the trash. I mean, maybe that wasn't quite how they drew it up, but credit Aspin, because just got a much better read on it, and also realised if there's 3 people there already, what good am I going to do by coming there after those guys in neutral are already there, trying to get into that same space? Why not just be a little bit behind the play, A, so I can trust my own read, and B, so actually if someone does get a tip on it, maybe I've got a little bit of time to adjust.
Yeah, very well played from Aspin there. Veteran move to sneak in around the back.
Yoink.
Wait for everyone else to miss.
Doesn't mean that he's going to celebrate it any less.
Oh, no. Celebrate it more, even.
Yeah, go right into your teammate and show the disc in their face.
Show this your teammate, yeah.
Absolutely, always the way. Still a very tight game here. Couple of breaks up at the moment, La Fotta. But definitely could go either way.
Oh, Chevy are right in this.
100%. 100%.
I think the fact that they played as well as they did through that last D point from the Fotta is something they can bring a lot of confidence from. The Fotta were working hard to get a block on that point, and Chevy got the goal without turning over. So, the Fotta on offense now. Just working down this near side. Not much going on downfield. They've had to go sideways, but Helton in the middle now. Goes far side. to Masterini. Up line to Kabul. Masterini again. Looking in field. Chevron taking away a lot of options. Has to go over the top. And Fotta bring it down. Zani with the catch. Over multiple Chevron defenders.
There's this thing that really good athletes seem to do, where they jump and they don't come down immediately, they just kind of hang in the air for a while. And I thought Zani had actually gone a little bit too early, but he just stays up there somehow.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
His anti-gravity boots.
Yeah, it's a low gravity day for Zani. Not for anyone else, it seems.
(7-5), nice clean hold that from Fotta. Their O-line's turned it over once so far today.
Chevron did punish them when they did.
Here we go, here's the replay. Mastroianni wants desperately to get it off that sideline. Doesn't really see an option, so instead just flows this one, and my word, look at the air from Zani.
Just no respect for the laws of physics.
Definitely not.
So wind is picking up again.
Pavel Pelikan very kindly putting the weight back in place to keep our gazebo down.
Dathan, far side to Cameron. It's in field. Finds Dathan again. Chevy having to work hard in the reset space, but Mason comes down with the disc. Aspen on the far side now. Looking for Kime.
Lovely handler cut there, just that little shoulder shimmy to get free of Gatti.
Did just enough. It's Colthammer looking for Kime again. Same movement, but this disc is too high, and Fotta will come down with it. Stifling defense from Fotta on that possession, as a foul is called on the far side of the pitch.
Second block this game for Jan Novak.
Looked like one of the Fotta receivers just ran through Kime a little bit on the far side. Disc will stay with Fotta as they work it towards the end zone.
Break here takes them into half time, and they receive to begin the second.
Probably a pick was called downfield.
The lean figure of Cameron trying to put those long limbs to use on the mark.
Santucci pops it over the top.
Cheeky.
To Venturelli. And into the end zone for the score. Santucci with the catch in the end zone. Breaks for Fotta. They take half.
Chopo's second goal of the game, 8-5 at half to Fotta, with Fotta receiving to begin the second period. All of a sudden, this game's got away from Chevy a little bit.
It was close for a while, and it looked like Chevron were going to get some more break opportunities, but Fotta come down hard on defense. And they take half.
An exceptionally clean first half. Only 1 point had multiple turnovers, and it was to make it through. It was a break for Fotta to make it 3-1 from 2-1. But otherwise, every point has had at most one turnover. Fotta's O-line has turned it over once. Their D-line has turned it over once. The difference is that Chevy's O-line turned it over 5 times now. Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
As the players take half time, we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member
and fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
I love working with the team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 And we are back with the second half of this Open Division semi-final between CUSB Fotta and Chevron. A very clean first half so far in this game, but the Fotta are up 8-5 and receiving the pull.
Only 1 point and multiple turnovers. The Fotta turned it over twice all half, once on O, once on D. That's the level that they're playing at in this game. And to be honest, at that level, when you're playing that well, it kind of doesn't matter who your opponent is. They're going to have a tough time.
So Laffy brings the disc to the brick mark for the Fotta against Chevron's zone. Chevron have some questions to answer in this second half if they want to keep the game close and hopefully take the win. But the Fotta working pretty comfortably around the back. Helton. Far side to Rossi. On the doorstep now. Rossi. Looks off the option in the end zone, goes backwards, and the swing into the end zone for Helton. Opens up the second half with an easy hold for the Fotta.
More of the same, it seems, from La Fotta. They are just on, on form today, by the looks of it. Whoever they meet in the final, if they can continue this, assuming they hold on here, that is scary, scary form. What I like here is they got so close to the end zone. Rossi's right on the end zone line, and it'd have been so easy to try and force it in, but instead take the reset. Laffy, with the force a little bit far off, can really sit down on that flick, feather it into Goose, who's at the front of the end zone to make it 9-5. Nice clean hold, as you mentioned, to start this second half. Chevron are going to have to find something special to try and generate consistent turnovers out of this Fotta offense, because at the moment, everything they try just doesn't seem to be a problem.
Yeah, I like the mix up with coming out on zone for the second half, but Fotta were ready for it. So a big pull into the end zone for Fotta, and Chevron looking for another clean hold. Cameron finds Colthammer in field. He looks deep, and a nice, easy deep shot. Cameron just walks it down, and that's a beautifully clean hold.
You can see Colthammer hold that huck for a little while, just kind of judging the wind, trying to make sure that it was in a position where he could just, he didn't have to throw it too hard almost. And Cameron's got the beating of Davide Morri deep that time, and Colthammer hits him right in stride. Is even maybe able to take his foot off the pedal a little bit as well to make that catch a little bit easier for himself, so he's not going quite full pelt when he's trying to bring it in. Have a look at the replay here. Colthammer has it. He looks downfield. You can see he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, go on then.
So often when players hesitate on deep shots like this, it ends up being an overthrow or an underthrow, or just not as good as it needs to be. And in this case, it was perfect.
So getting news from our roving reporter Rachel Douglas as to the other semi-final. Clapham up 8-3 at half on Wall City apparently.
Yeah, Clapham looking to get some revenge for their loss to Wall City earlier in the season at the Elite Invite in Bologna.
Oof. Made that, catching that ball a little bit awkward, but DeLuca had it no problem. Hello, there's a turn.
The Chevron zone gets it done on this occasion. And they look to fast break to punish that mistake from Fotta. Had to go backwards for a few passes though. There's the shot to the end zone, and it is not quite reeled in. The drop on the landing, unfortunate for Chevron. Fotta get a second chance.
Morel just put that a bit too far out, and yeah, Vasilit's got a big body, but he just couldn't stretch it enough.
So Fotta have to work it round this Chevron zone once again. Spreading the field well though.
When you said the Chevy zone got the turn first time out, did it?
No, it didn't. It was a just clean mistake from the Fotta.
That's what I suspected.
Sometimes elite players feel a lot more comfortable throwing to tight one-to-one coverage than they do to wide open receivers. So
strange but true, I guess. Sits Morel down on the force, but he gets back in position.
The Fotta were doing really well moving the disc around, but they're trapped on that far sideline now. And as we saw yesterday, the far sideline can be a real issue for teams.
Or maybe not.
Not on this occasion, as Fotta just walk it down that far sideline and get the hold on the second time of asking.
Yeah, Cable, one of the American imports, threads it into DeLuca for the goal. I must say that it feels like they've integrated the pickups into the roster well. Not just the American trio of Helton, Cable, and Gibson, but the German Hernschmeyer, who's been playing them with it for a few seasons. Novak, the Austrian, and Berlikan, the Czech as well. That time, that's got a sting. You had the disc almost in the hands for the break. It would have been a really important break as well, with how well Fotta have been playing. But when they do play this well, they will punish you for not taking your opportunities, as we saw there.
That's been the story of this game so far. Chevy have not been able to punish the Fotta's mistakes. The Fotta have been able to punish Chevy's mistakes. Part of that has been the tight defense from the Fotta, forcing Chevron to make tight, difficult throws, and Chevron not quite being able to execute. But you got to take your chances when they come.
Yeah, another pull, bombs deep there by the Fotta. Oh. Woof.
Cameron looking for Sweetenham deep, but Sweetenham comes under just as the throw goes up. And that's not the type of birthday present he was looking for, Benji. As we were told during halftime, it is Sweetenham's 21st birthday today. Happy birthday to you.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be so happy a birthday.
No.
This time, I wonder if it's just the adrenaline of getting close on that bid, but or whether it's just a simple miscommunication with Sweetenham. But Cameron absolutely ripped it to no one.
Some discussion about where the disc went out.
It looks like that it might not even have come back in.
Yeah, players often, after they've been bid past like that, look for an immediate huck. And more often than not, the better idea is to do a give and go.
Yes. Try and play it short, run away from the player before they have a chance to catch up. Two different ways of approaching the same same situation.
As the Fotta working up to that front corner. Can't find an option in the end zone though. Have to swing. IO break infield. There's no one in the end zone available though. A few more passes will be required, but there's the pop in. And Venturuli gets the score for the Fotta.
Yeah, Venturoli and Santucci have linked up before that. But previously it was Venturoli firing it to Santucci for the goal. This time Santucci finds Venturoli to make it 11-6, and they are pulling away from Chevron in this second half. It was 6-5 at one point. It's a 5-1 run for the Italians now.
Yeah, it's all the Fotta in the second half.
Have a look at the replay here. Aspin completely sells out to stop the break throw. By the time he's able to get up, the disc just swung round and just 1, 2, 3 into the end zone, done. I've heard some rumours about Jake Aspin.
Me too.
Apparently it's his last ever tournament with Chevy.
Yeah, 12 years playing for Chevron. Started in 2010. And he will not be going to Worlds with them next month.
I think a Halcyon product came out of University of Manchester.
Yes, I believe so. Back in Halcyon's glory days.
Did they ever have glory days?
They were a pretty strong team.
I know they were a strong team. I don't know if they ever reached the summit necessarily,
no.
But they were always there or thereabouts for a good few years.
They were challenging at nationals every year as Dathan just about catches that disc. Past the bidding, the Fotta defender. The Fotta with the zone again, and the throw through the middle does not complete. Bit of dribbling now from the Fotta, making ground before Chevron can clamp down on defense.
I get that Gibson's a really tempting target to throw to, but it's generally not a good idea if he's not on your team.
I think the fact that he's not on your team is a problem on your part. You should have got him. That was the mistake.
Well, don't want to necessarily disrupt that roster chemistry, perhaps.
So, Chevron trapping on that near side. Pop past to Gibson. Gets another score for the Fotta, and they go 1 point closer to taking the game.
Yeah, Comarato to Gibson. This is now a 6-1 run. La Fotta are turning it up in style. I think maybe after that show, maybe a little bit of a disappointment performance. Disappointment performance, that's not how grammar works. Disappointing performance in the show game yesterday to the Bullfrogs. That maybe they're thinking that we need to get back into that final where we expect to see the hosts, so we can try and right some wrongs. This is now 3 points on the trot for the Bolognians. Bolognans for the Bolognese. That is
the term.
Yeah.
It is.
I know, and Chevy calling a timeout here, and this makes sense to me.
It does, as we see a shot of Clapham there in the background.
It's like 9-5 in the other semi-final. We're going to take a little bit of a breather here in the booth. I think that sounds like a good plan, and we'll be right back with you after these messages.
And after that quick timeout, we are back for the conclusion of this semi-final matchup in the Open Division. As things stand, it looks like we are in for a rematch between the Fotta and Clapham in the final.
There is still time, and we know that Chevron can have the quality, as that is a stonker of a pull from Tognetti. Going out, curling around the floodlights and coming back in bounds. No way of attacking that early. What a pull.
As Keim is trapped on the end zone line. The Fotta's defense closing in. Keim again, goes low, finds Aspen. He goes deep, straight into the hand of Santucci.
Santucci's having himself a game, isn't he?
Absolutely. Maietta. As the Fotta tried to work it down that far sideline, but threw straight into the Chevron defender.
Yeah, maybe just got a little bit greedy on that occasion, Herrnschmeier. Couldn't quite help himself, and Colthammer caught him with his hand in the cookie jar.
Foul's called downfield.
That's the second turnover from Chevron this half. From Le Fotta this half. They've had their turnover on O, and there's their turnover on D. So if it's the same pattern as the first half, that's their turnovers done for this game.
That's the show. Colthammer goes deep, looking for Cameron. It's going to be 2 versus 1, but the disc floats out of bounds. So Le Fotta score now, right? They're not going to turn over.
If the game follows the same pattern as the first half, which obviously there's no guarantee that it will, yes. We saw earlier Colthammer judged a deep shot perfectly. Yeah. This time the wind's a bit stronger, and he just tilts that too much, tries to get that outside in, and the wind sees that and gleefully pushes it out of the sideline.
Almost a Callahan for Aspen. As a foul is called on that throw. Disc will go back to Horschmeier.
Yeah, quickly uncontested. Good spirit as well. Well, that would have been a story, wouldn't it? An Aspen Callahan.
Oh yeah. Now the Fotta after the races. Deep shot goes up. Huge bid, does not come down with it though. Close from Santucci.
Yeah, went for the clap catch layout and it just zipped through his hands, but I think this might go back to Tognetti regardless. If he's fouled on that throw, and he still almost got it to Santucci, I was going to say what a thrower he is, but we've seen that time and time again, Tognetti.
Goes deep again, can't find the target. Aspen comes down with it. And Chevron get another chance to put this point in.
This is now the most turnover heavy point of the game. It's only the 4th turnover at this point.
Yeah, it's sloppy from both teams. They need to step it up. Aspen. Looking to the end zone, but no one is available. Goes back to Kime. And the outstretched arm of Cameron finds the disc outside the sideline, over the top. And Sweetenham comes down with it. Chevron clutch that point out.
I thought for a moment that Cameron might have squandered that opportunity. You've heard the thing that you can't trust people that have first names for surnames.
Yeah.
Well, they almost proved it. Anyway, thankfully, Sweetenham read it really well. And despite the fact there are a couple of defenders there, he just pinpoints that at his high point and brings it down. A rather grazed Santucci walks past us on this sideline. Nice grab, that one from Sweetenham. Tognetti on his back shoulder, doesn't matter, makes the catch anyway.
It's going to require a pretty heroic comeback from Chevron at this stage. But they've done the first part, which is to hold an offense.
Stranger things have happened.
They have.
Chevy got to start running up that hill to get a comeback here. See what I did there? That's topical.
Smart.
Yeah, I'm just pleased that more and more people are discovering Kate Bush, to be honest.
So deep pull from Chevron. So they opt for the zone again, at the front at least. Poaching off a little bit. But Fotta finds some options in field. Far side now. Looking deep, can't find anyone. Goes up line. Zani in field, but can't quite find Mastrani. Chevron get moving now. Deep shot, going to the far side. It's hanging. Both players will have a bid, but the wind. What? I was about to say the wind has just pushed that too high and out of bounds, but Chevron had other ideas.
Morel tracked that really well. It would have been so easy to think this is gone and give up on it, but really he tracked it well and still had the presence of mind to try and toe the sideline successfully for the score. Hodgett with his pull hamstring.
Just
hobbles onto the field.
Look how the disc bobbles. It just holds up. And Morel
with the toe drag swag.
Wow.
Did you see who the thrower was?
I did. I can't remember the number. My bad.
It's all right. I'll do some digging, as they say. Hey, I told you it wasn't over yet. First break of the second half for Chevy.
2 points in a row.
Still got a mountain to climb, but you know they have embarked on that journey. There's a pack of Mars bars that have drifted onto the field. Oh no, there's no Mars bars in there. I'm less interested now.
Yeah.
I will say other chocolates that also don't sponsor us are also available.
So Chevron looking to close the gap once again. 4 points down, but all it takes is a couple of mistakes from Fotta and Chevron can be right back in this.
Yeah, the first 18 points of this game, Fotta turned it over 3 times, and they've turned it over 3 times in the last 2 points.
They're crumbling. The comeback is on, Benji.
Well, any Chevy fans watching will be very pleased to hear you say that.
Laffy, the disc on the brick mark. Far side to Luca. Laffy. Luca. Close bid from Chevron. Fotta maintain possession though. Luca looking for options, but Chevron are tight. And a dropped clap catch.
Wow.
On that far sideline from Copy.
You know, we were joking about how about Fotta were crumbling.
And how about they're more comfortable throwing to receivers that are tightly marked? Maybe that's the strat as Chevy go deep and almost come down with it. Second effort. Not quite. Rowan Thompson got a hand to it, but popped out.
He's going to want that one back because did the hard work, got there, and then bounced out of those gloved hands. I guess another set of gloves needed, maybe.
Well, he's got 2 different gloves on each hand.
Oof.
So maybe the other way around it would have worked. Who knows?
I mean, I doubt it, because then you'd be wearing a left glove on the right hand.
Presumably he has the other pair. Or maybe he doesn't, that's why he's got 2 different ones.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, Fotta go deep now. Disc is fading to that right side. Will be contested. Oh, what a grab! I will correct myself and say, what a drop!
I think he just ground stripped himself on the landing.
Unfortunate for the Fotta, but these are the chances that Chevron need to be taking, and a huge bid in the end zone. Foul call is made, but Sebastian Rossi flew for a second there.
Yeah, he sensed the Callahan.
He didn't try and catch it though, he swiped it out the air.
I think regardless, it looked like the Parnell made the signal for the uncontested foul.
It is an uncontested foul. So, but a huge effort from Laffy. Some discussion about where the player should be positioned, I think. If it's an uncontested foul there, the disc should stay with Parnell.
Yeah, Rossi's getting ready to check it back in. And check back in it is.
We're back underway. And Chevy go deep, but the disc does not hang up. Squandering their opportunities.
Yeah, Thompson looking to hook up with Morel to make up for the Morel's huck that he couldn't connect with, but he didn't put enough underneath it.
So, let's see what Fotta can do this time of asking. Laffy looking deep at Holsters, goes in field. Wasazi can't find the receiver in the end zone. This trails out of bounds.
What was a really clean, high-quality game, past few points, all of a sudden, some turnovers have started to creep in.
Generated.
Don't know who invited them to the party.
But a scrappy game is maybe in Chevron's favor at this point. If they can just put in some of these long points, all the confidence will be with them. As a foul is called just before that throw. Rossi is sitting on the floor.
Just getting word that it's 11-6 in the other semi-final between Clapham and Wall City.
Some discussion between the players. It looks like the disc will stay with Chevron. Vaslet holding the disc currently. We are back underway. Vaslet does find the IA break. Chevron go deep immediately. It's hanging. And what a play from Orion Cabell. Comes down with it for Fotta. Laffy now.
Yeah, Morel looking deep. Thought that Roger Williams was a good deep option, and he was. But Orion Cable just roofed him.
Yeah, Cable got up for that one. Rossi. Short to it. Rossi again. Laffy. Cable does not come down with that one. Parnell with the block. And Chevron go deep immediately and do come down with it. Morel with the score. And that's another one for Chevron. The comeback is happening, Benji.
Comeback is very much happening now. 7 turnovers that point. And in the end, certainly the grindiest point we've had so far.
Chevron come down with the score and force the timeout from the Fotta.
Bulbarak just picks it up on the sideline, jams it deep, and connects with Ethan Morel. 12-9.
3 points in a row for the Fotta. But as the players take a timeout, we will be right back after this. And we are back with our coverage of this Open Division semi-final between Chevron and the Fotta. As you see the wind wobbling our camera a little bit up on top of the pole.
Yeah, it's picked up a bit, and that has allowed some turnovers to creep into this game. And Chevron have taken advantage of that. They were 12-6 down, but they're putting 3 on the bounce now, closing the gap to 12-9. Game on.
They were broken twice early in this half, and they've got those breaks back. Still some more work to do, though. 3 points down.
Just seeing the other semi-final going on in the background behind us, with Clapham up on Wall City.
Looking to take revenge for their loss earlier in the season.
Yeah, but slightly shaky start to the season for Clapham. In back-to-back third place finishes at the Elite Invite and at Tom's Tourney.
Yes.
But they seem to have righted that ship with a dominant victory, really, in the final at Windmill over Mooncatchers, although they were pushed hard by Is No Good again at that tournament, both in Swiss draw and in bracket play. And yeah, pretty consummate victories in all their games yesterday, and potentially a showcase matchup again in the final.
You have to think, though, that if the Fotta do get there, if they do secure this game, that they will be much more fired up for the final. And a chance to push Clapham much harder than they did yesterday.
Feels like the first time we've seen Cable and Helton on offense for a while.
That's been a little while. But maybe the Fotta think they need to put out some of their big names again to get the job done. They're only 3 points away. And I was about to say they're only going to be 2 points away, but Chevron have other ideas. Ethan Morel gets the block on the end zone line for Chevron.
Helton just tries to feather this one in there, looking for Laffy, but it floats a little bit, and that means that able to close the door in time is young Ethan Morel. I wonder if maybe Goose was wearing shorts instead of tracksuit bottoms. He'd have had a bit more flexibility to step into that throw. You can't play your best ultimate in tracksuit bottoms, I maintain this.
Maybe that's the mistake I've been making.
Nice toe in on this sideline.
So Chevron being made to work by this Bologna O-line defense, as a foul was called long before this throw goes up. The wind in that corner is doing absolutely wild things to the disc, but I imagine this will come back.
You could see it kind of tip up and down and all over the place. Thompson's gonna take an injury sub. Maybe he pulled something when he was trying to lash that deep. Foul happened a fair time ago.
Oh, long before that throw went up.
Did it affect the decision to put that up?
See what the players decide.
Games are now over. Finish point +1.
There is the hooter. So finish the point, count +1. So it will be 12-10 game to 13 or 13-9 game to 14. There is some quite intense discussion going on in front of us. That's the way I'll phrase it.
Yes.
I would like to make it clear that as a proud patron of the neutral planet, I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
I'm just here for close games.
Yeah.
I will always be rooting for the team that is trying to make the comeback happen.
You see low-flying aircraft here. We are really not far away from Heathrow Airport in southwest London.
So players still discussing whether or not this should go back or it should be a turnover.
Yeah, I must admit it's quite a protracted discussion at this point.
Yeah.
Santucci and Hodgett making their way over from the far side, maybe as Spirit captains.
As the foul happened significantly before the throw, I do feel like it should go back to Aspen and players should reset, but that's, I think, what is going to happen. There's also some discussion about where players should be positioned.
So I think they're going to contest it and send it all the way back to Parnell on this sideline. Meantime, Thompson's come off to be replaced by Aspen. It's like Pelican's on for the Italians as well, although of course he's not Italian.
So Elliot Parnell with this, lockout coming in on 6. We're back underway. Aspen. Looks off the around break. Pops in field, another high pop. Morel. Aspen. It's off the wide open up line cut. Instead, finds Cameron. But that's just a clean drop from Parnell.
Yeah, it was kind of similar to earlier in the point. He made a tough catch close to the sideline and towed it in over here. This time on the far sideline, he can't do the same.
So, CUSB with an opportunity to get 1 point closer to victory and make this a game to 14.
Although actually, whatever happens at this point, they'll still be 1 point away from victory.
There we are. 13-9, game to 14.
Zani just punches it into Cable at the front of the end zone for the score. Nice flow there from Fotta. They got the offense going at speed, slashing past Chevy defenders. Yeah, 4 points to the good, 1 point away from victory. It would require a monumental comeback at this point for the Brits.
Yeah, Chevron needed that point.
If you look at that, actually, it looks like the defender who was on the mark just peels off ever so slightly, trying to think maybe, okay, we can get in the way here. And then here comes the cut from Cable, just takes that space that's left beyond, making it 13-9. Had to be 5 in a row for Chevy to win here. As good as they are, feels unlikely.
If we had the other final result in that point, the 10-12
game to 13.
That's doable.
I mean, this
Especially
is
if they get the 11th.
This is still doable, but as we say, yeah, almost Herculean effort would be required.
This is a tall order. The Fotta need to essentially crumble.
This isn't just a tall order, this is like Robert Wadlow tall. He was the tallest man ever.
But it all starts with the Chevron 0 point. Aspen, Kime, holsters the deep shot. Finds Sweetenham.
Pick.
This will stay with Mason.
Lots of hand slaps going on.
Still count rising. Mason does find Kime. Double layout on the mark. Cameron. Dathan. Looking for Mason. Cameron now. Goes for the end zone, looking for Sweetenham. Who can't quite come down with it. Good defense from the Fotta. They were tight the whole time, and now they shoot deep straight away, looking to end this game as quickly as possible. Disc is hanging, but it sits perfectly and props down into the hands of Santucci, who gets the final score for the Fotta. They take the game 14-9.
Yeah, clinical. For the first half of this game, Le Fotta were pretty much faultless. As the game dragged on, the wind got a little bit stronger. Chevy threatened a little bit of a comeback, but in the end, Le Fotta just too good on this occasion, able to close it out. You see, Gibson goes up line, and then with a little bit of space, Novak absolutely bangs this deep.
And it just sails beautifully into the hands of Santucci. Great work from the Fotta. They will meet Clapham in the final, as that game has also just ended. But before then, we have some women's action coming up on this pitch.
Yeah, women's final of all things.
So stay tuned for that. Remember to subscribe to Alti TV. Check out our Patreon page to financially support these broadcasts. And we will see you again very soon. I've been Luke Burgess.
I've been Benji Reese.
And we'll see you for the next one.
Final women's game will start in 1 minute. 12:40 in 1 minute. Reminder for the final.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
RTW GBR.TV.
Go!